Alright guys, probably without a doubt, this has to be one of the cheapest macro lenses that you can get for the Sony APS-C system. And for only $160, I really do think you can't go wrong if you buy it. And let me show you why. Alright guys, before we begin, if you're new to the channel, I do a lot of camera, filmmaking and drone videos, so if that's something that you like, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Alright guys, so I think there's a lot of you that might be getting into the Sony system and are just realizing that Sony lenses are super expensive. So when I saw this lens on Amazon, I'll put the links in the description below, and saw how inexpensive it was, I decided to get one for myself and give it a try. So this is a 7Artisans 60mm F2.8 Macro lens for cameras like the A6000 all the way to the A6600. When it comes to build quality, I think the 7Artisans reminds me of a more expensive macro lens that I own, and that's a Voigtlander 110 macro lens, which costs around $1,000. This lens is completely made out of metal and is built like a tank, so for the price I really didn't think that it's gonna be this good. The lens is a completely minor lens, so that means that you're not gonna find any electronic contacts on the back. There's no autofocus, and basically you have to make all the changes that you want on the actual lens itself. And that's why it's so cheap, because it doesn't have all the features that a native Sony lens would offer. However, you have to keep in mind that this is a macro lens, and most likely for macro photography, 99% of the time, you need to focus things manually anyways. In addition to that, with all the focus assist features that you're gonna find on the newer cameras, it's really hard to get things out of focus. When we're talking about focal length, because you're shooting on an APS-C camera like the A6000 series, you have to keep in mind about the 1.5 crop factor. So that means that a 60mm focal length on an APS-C camera is equivalent to a 90mm lens on a full frame. It has a maximum aperture of f2.8, which means that you're going to be able to take pictures in low light scenarios, and because of the wide aperture, you're even going to get a beautiful bokeh even if you're taking portraits with a lens like this one. The minimum focus distance is 26 centimeters, which means that you can get fairly close to your subject, and it also offers a 1:1 magnification ratio. 5 things come to mind when I use a lens like this one. 1, I love the click aperture, which means that you can use the lens to shoot video and change the aperture on the go. 2, the focus ring is super smooth, so it's super easy to change focus on the lens, and that's very useful when you're shooting macro photography. 3, even though the weight of the lens is 1.2 pounds, I feel that when I use it on my A6600, I feel that it's a great combination and it's not front heavy. 4 is that even though the lens is super cheap, the image quality that you're gonna get is amazing. You will get super sharp photos, especially if you shoot between f4 and f1.6. And finally, number 5, with a price like this, you really can't complain that much. One disadvantage that I found with the lens is that in order to get a 1:1 magnification ratio, like I mentioned at the beginning, that lens will extend the front element all the way to the front. And number 1, that's going to decrease the light entering the lens, and number 2, because of that, you will have to increase the ISO on the camera, especially if you're shooting indoors, and that might introduce some noise in the footage. Alright guys, so this was a short video that I wanted to make to introduce you to this lens, because I think it's a very good option if you've been looking to get into macro photography and don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a lens. I'll put the links down below so you can check it out on Amazon and give it a try. So alright guys, if you want to check my other Sony videos on how to master your camera, you can click right here. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more camera filmmaking and drone videos. See you in the next one.